we record these on YouTube and we'll post it on YouTube and everything. You guys watching on Facebook, do you think I need to go in there and cancel those, or are we
You
good?
have to. That's what's going to cause that the whole time.
You think I need to, as you said?
Yeah,
Oh.
you're going to need to. If you want that to be a consistent, because it's choppy. We're both trying to use upload speed, so that's just what's going to do
What
it.
if you can pause the uploads?
On YouTube, probably. You could probably click a pause button.
I'll go look. Hunter's going to cover up, get kind of touch base on everything we're going to talk about today. We got all kinds of stuff to get into. No Gene today. We're just you and me, man.
No Gene.
All right, Hunter,
No
we'll walk in
Gene.
and check it out.
Yeah, no Genes, just me and Kevin in today. We got a little bit of sports happening in the world, baseball, basketball, and football all going on right now. And we're looking forward to that. Another game tonight in the NBA. There was a game last night between the Lakers and the Nuggets. It was interesting for if anybody watched it. Tonight's game, Game 4, Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And then also, not tonight, but tomorrow night, the Thursday night game for the official start of week 3 in the NFL. We're already 3 weeks into the NFL season. That will be the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That will be the battle for Florida. Winner, I guess, can claim Florida. Loser just doesn't get Florida. That's kind of just how it's going to be at this point. I'm excited really about that game. I have been red hot recently with my NFL takes. Yeah, I have been red hot. Last week for week 2, out of the 16 games played, I went 14-2. And the only reason why I missed those 2 picks last week was because one of them was a heart pick. I picked my team. I picked Washington. And the second one was because the Falcons absolutely crapped the bed and they let the Dallas Cowboys come back from behind. And to be completely honest, only the Falcons could have lost in that way. So if you take away me doing a heart pick, taking my team, Washington, and then you take away my pick where the Falcons essentially lost the game, Dallas didn't win a game, I could have been 16-0, if the Washington game I actually kind of try and pick with my head and I decide to take the Cardinals. There's 15-1. And some people are thinking, oh, Hunter, you didn't go 14-2. I sure did. You can go back and watch previous shows, and it will show that I did, in fact, pick those games. And Monday's show, because the Monday night game didn't happen until later that night, Monday's show did, in fact, show me picking the Raiders to upset, if you want to even call it upset, the Raiders to defeat the Las Vegas Raiders to defeat the New Orleans Saints. And they did. The Raiders looked like the better team Monday. We'll probably get into that here in a second. More and more teams throughout the MLB have finally clinched playoff spots. The Dodgers clinched a playoff spot. Last night, I know one that really made me happy. The Braves clinched a playoff spot. And that was the one I was the most excited for, especially the Braves. Braves 20-time division champions, and this is the 3rd year straight that they've claimed the division, so that's a big one as well. Hockey at the same time. It's crazy to think of how many sports are going on right now. If you're a sports fan and you love watching sports, there are just so many that are going on right now, and it's almost as if you don't have enough eyes or enough televisions, enough monitors, enough devices to watch these games on, that you sometimes miss out on things, and that's tough. Last night, did I want to watch the NBA playoff game or did I want to watch one of the Atlanta Braves games? And it turned out to be the game that they clinched in. I had to decide, it was just one or the other. I ended up watching the NBA game. So right now, for sports fans, this is a fantastic time, especially because let me see, what was it? 3 or 4 months that we went without sports, it's almost like they're all making up for it right now. College football's even going on. Totally forgot to even mention them. The SEC kicks off this weekend. They finally are getting started in college football. A team has already canceled a game or postponed a game for this coming weekend, and one of the big Power 5 teams already has done that. And then the Big Ten got reinstated. So sports fans everywhere, rejoice. This is the best time of the year right now. It's almost as if it's Christmas in September. You just have something you can watch every night. Major League Baseball starting to wind down a little bit more. We're getting closer and closer to deciding the finals for the NBA, which is always going to be fun. And then you have the NFL, which is just raring to go. So with that, I want to go ahead and get started talking about the Monday night game. We'll just go ahead and knock this one out of the way because it did happen Monday night. We obviously don't have shows on Tuesdays, so we have to address what we saw Monday night on Wednesday. Monday night for me with the Raiders, they just looked significantly better on offense than the New Orleans Saints did. Significantly better. And the only reason why I say that significantly better is because I think Derek Carr outplayed Drew Brees. And I think we're getting ready to start to see something with Drew Brees. I was watching the game, and Drew, his arm seemed weak. That's one thing that a lot of people have tried to say we're going to start seeing with Brady. We just haven't seen it. They're saying, oh, well, it's going to go. His arm strength is going to go. He's not going to be able to throw the ball nearly as well downfield at some point. We just haven't seen it yet. So we can't really believe that. We don't really know what it's going to look like when it happens to Brady. We have seen this with Drew Brees. We saw this about 2 years ago when they lost to the Rams. I'm trying to think because they've gotten screwed so many times. We saw this 2 years ago with Drew Brees when they played against the Rams in the playoffs, or really that season as a whole. The later the season got, it seemed to be more of a wear and tear on Drew Brees' arm. And it started to really show in the distance of the ball that he could throw. A lot of it was dink and dunk that we like to say Tom Brady would run with New England. And you can't say that he didn't have weapons like you used to be able to say with Brady. His weapons was only like Gronk, Edelman, and then the running backs out of the backfield. No. Like, they've had weapons down in New Orleans for Drew Brees for a while. But then you saw it again. You were expecting to see it last year, but what I think helped, even though this isn't going to sound like it helped, is when Drew Brees got injured and he was out for almost 5 weeks. Like, let his arm stay rested, and it wasn't going to be nearly as dead as it was towards the end of the season. Now we're here in this season. Week 1, he looks pretty good. He looks pretty good against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, but if you really break down that game week 1 for Drew Brees, was it that the Saints just beat them, or did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat themselves and Tom Brady didn't nearly play as good as they could have played, and they were still trying to figure out what kind of team they were going to be as a whole? So that all of those things, break those down, and then you watch the Monday night game between the Saints and the Raiders. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say it, I did take the Raiders. I didn't quite get to go into why, but I did say I think Michael Thomas not being there for the Saints really hurts. I thought that was really going to hurt their offense. Emmanuel Sanders was a no-show. He was targeted 3 times before he finally caught a pass in the fourth quarter. Like, he dropped all 3 of his other targets, caught one when it was really dumpster time, and the game was over at that point. So I think we're getting ready to see something with the Saints for maybe the next few weeks. People really need to just keep an eye on, and that's Drew Brees. And everybody knows this technically is his last year. He has signed a contract with, I can't remember who it is, NBC or somebody, for at the end of the season. He's going to the booth. So just watch for his arm. I don't think it's going to be the same, nowhere near the strength that it's been in years past. You could tell that against the Raiders. And the reason why I think it's more alarming now, and that's something that you really need to focus in on, is because the Raiders' defense is nothing special. That's not the strength of that team. That was not a takeaway that I took at all watching the Raiders and Saints game Monday night. I did not think that at all. Oh, wow, this Raiders defense is really special. No, I thought their offense was special. I think the Raiders have potentially a top 10 offense in the league. Great wide receivers. Darren Waller might be the third best tight end in the league outside of George Kittle and Travis Kelce. And then Derek Carr, all he wants is respect, and every year he puts up great numbers and just never gets the respect. So I think that team has the opportunity for a top 10 offense. But defensively, they did nothing to me that just stood out. Like they didn't sack Drew Brees at all that game. It wasn't that the offensive line played bad for the Saints either. I just think right now the Saints were getting ready to see a little bit of a limitation to their offense. Because even with them having Michael Thomas, the most yards that Michael Thomas gets are not through the air. Like he's not a deep threat. He gets him off that slant route that he runs, and he just outruns everybody because Drew Brees places it where only he can catch it, and he just takes off. I seriously do think this year, I was high on the Saints. I was like, you know what? Even if the Saints win the division, I think Tampa Bay and Tom Brady and them come in second, and they both make the playoffs. I don't know. Because Drew Brees really did not look that good at all. But I don't want to take that away. I don't want to just always put it on the Saints. I thought the Raiders looked really good. I thought they looked really good. And I was highly impressed by their offense. And I am looking forward to seeing how they do going forward. They do, in fact, come to New England this weekend, the Raiders, to play. Could they beat New England? Maybe. I think their offense could possibly be top 10. If I had to narrow it down, maybe top 7. And this is also what I have to remember, too, is, I had a dark horse getting in the playoffs out of that same division with the Chiefs, and it was the Broncos. Well, damn, Drew Lock ain't going to be them now. Drew Lock's injured. Their number one receiver's out with a torn ACL. Von Miller's done for the season. I mean, the injury bug is just hit them right now.
Trevor Lawrence to Denver.
Maybe. They did just sign Blake Bortles for a league minimum just to bring him in and be the quarterback right now. So, hey, there's no guarantee that they win a game. But if I had to look for another team in the AFC that could possibly get a wild card spot, just sneak in, if the Raiders play on offense like they did against the Saints, I could see it. And one person that I forgot to mention, and he now has the most rushing yards within like his first 16 starts in Raiders history, and that's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a very good running back. He had 100+ yards against, I know, the bad defense that it is in the Carolina Panthers in week 1, but the Saints defense is not bad. They got great players all over the Saints defense, whether it's secondary, Cam Jordan on the defensive end, and linebackers. So I think Josh Jacobs and this offense with Derek Carr, maybe they'll get Henry Ruggs going at some point, and Darren Waller, I could see them top 10 offense easily. If the defense comes around, I could see them making the playoffs. And I know that's a lot to take from what you just saw in week 2, but it is against a team.
Raiders?
Yeah, it is against a team that a lot of people would sit here and probably say, yeah, that's a playoff team. The Saints. They have a good defense. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback. They've got this and they've got that, but I mean they didn't look good at all.
All right, are you done with the blasphemy?
Blasphemy.
Are you done with that last 5 minutes of blasphemy?
I had no blasphemy that I said.
You know how much blasphemy? That was just total,
not blasphemy,
unadulterated Drew Brees blasphemy. You need to quit. You need to quit watching TV.
No. Quit. Oh, you mean I need to stop watching the football game that I watched?
Hunter, who had the most yards passed in that game? The Raiders or the Saints quarterback?
What's the matter?
If one's garbage, the other one has to be too. If he had more yards.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, Drew Brees had more yards in that game. Brees had more yards. He was 26 of 38, Hunter.
Okay.
That if it's 13 divided by 19, what's the percentage on that? It's got to be 60-something percent.
Okay.
His number one receiver wasn't out there. In fact, here's how good Michael Thomas is. He's the best wide receiver in football.
Maybe.
Hold on. As far as catching the football, when you look at the numbers,
it's debatable.
No, it's not. When you look at the numbers,
it's early DeAndre Hopkins.
No. I'm talking.
It's debatable.
When you pull out the actual catch radiuses, balls thrown to him, catch percentages, he's got the highest catch percentage of anybody. Now, when you take a passing offense's number one weapon away, Hunter, you probably won't score 30-something points in that game, but, you'll do okay. So
Yeah, but do you know who the leading receiver was for the Saints in that game?
Probably Kamara. I don't know.
It was Kamara. That was a lot of dink and dunk, isn't it?
No, what I'm saying is that they have nobody. They have no weapons.
What is Emmanuel Sanders? They just pulled him in.
He obviously isn't too good, is he? So what I've read on Sanders is Sanders doesn't know the offense.
No, he doesn't. He got here like halfway through the offseason.
So Emmanuel does not know the offense. He's even commented that it's complicated. So when you hear last time we heard a wide receiver say the offense was complicated was Chad Johnson in New England, and he didn't do nothing and got left out. Brees had 312 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception against the Raiders. Now, Hunter, this is what we do. We've had 2 weeks of this already. And it's fun to watch.
What?
Depending on whether your team wins or loses is how you're viewed as how you played. Let's say New Orleans shut out the Raiders in that game defensively.
I mean, you had 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
And
that pick was bad.
Let's say
that pick was bad.
Let's say
he missed him bad.
Hunter, the defender, have you seen the video?
The defender was just standing right there.
I know, in the middle of the logo. He was blended in with the logo.
Oh, my God.
I'm seriously. So, now, I don't even remember what I was saying before that. Oh, they scored 24 points without the number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And a horrible game by Brees with 312 yards
I told you
passing.
this defense is bad. They even let the Panthers score 30.
Who are you talking about?
The Raiders.
Right. So what I'm saying is, Hunter, if the Saints would have shut out the Raiders and let's say the score is 24-3.
But they didn't.
Drew Brees doesn't play linebacker.
I know he doesn't.
So what I'm telling you, Hunter, if you would listen, is if the Saints would have won 24-3, what would your analysis have been?
The Raiders are bad.
And Drew Brees is still done? Would that have been the analysis?
Well,
if they won 24-3?
Possibly.
Think about it.
Possibly.
Everybody
what
said
I'm looking
Cam
at
did great in week 1. And he got scored 21 points, and Bridgewater's awful, and he scored more.
Yeah, I'm just looking, and all I can see, they're not telling me how many yards per throw Drew Brees averaged.
Okay.
Because it was not much. Meanwhile, Derek Carr was slinging the ball all over the field.
Drew Brees had more yards.
Listen, Drew Brees. Yeah, I mean, I hate that they count yards for even yards after catch. It's not just what's through the air. So, I mean, when you dink the ball over to Alvin Kamara and he gets a 15-yard run because everybody's covering wideouts, I mean, that's going to happen. Look, what I saw out of Drew Brees was a lot of just mid-range, not even mid-range, like middle of the field throws.
Would you rather
There's nothing deep.
Would you ever have a 6 or 7 yard completion or a 45-yard incompletion?
Well, I want a guy that's not going to be afraid to take the top off.
Who's he throwing it to, though, Hunter? Again, who's he going to throw it deep to?
Well, you can throw
Michael Thomas there. They have nothing. They don't have a deep threat. They don't got Ted Ginn in there anymore.
I know. I don't even know where Ted Ginn
So
is.
the offense is designed, and you're right.
It is designed to be for just nice little slant routes.
And then when somebody gets open, he'll fire deep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the Saints at all. They'll win their division.
I don't know if they win the division now.
I don't think the Bucs going to. Hey, the Falcons obviously aren't going.
The
to
Falcons aren't. They'll
after
choke away
that.
everything.
Well, let me go through down here.
I'll
quick.
say this though. I know I gave a lot of flack to Drew and the Saints right now, but I try to give equally as much credit to how good this Raiders offense really is.
Who is Smith? Is he the tight end?
Who?
T. Smith.
No.
For New Orleans.
No, the tight end is Jared Cook.
Who's Smith?
I don't know.
He had 5 catches, 85 yards. Traquan Smith, wide receiver number 10.
Yeah, he's number 10, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is. Emmanuel Sanders 1 catch. And
That's what I'm saying. Like, he
Kamara
didn't
9.
catch anything. Now, I can't blame Breeze for that. You bring in a wide receiver because what is it? To do his job, to catch a pass that's thrown to him. And he just didn't do it. He didn't do it. I don't know. If it happens, it happens. But we did see it 2 years ago, though, with Breeze. When he got later in the season, his arm started to give out on him.
I don't think it at
Then
all.
last year,
I don't see none of that.
Then last year, he got the 5 weeks off that he was injured, came back, and was just nice and rested.
All I hear is what you're saying. This analyst saying...
That's because that's what I saw with my eyes. I watched the game because I wanted to be right about the Raiders winning this game, and I was. And you're right. You know what? Even if it wasn't his arm, I did say the main reason why the Raiders will win this game is because there will be no Michael Thomas. And he is a big X factor.
Right.
And he does make a difference. He's a matchup nightmare for anybody that's on the field. I just want to give credit where credit is due, though. He gets a lot of flack. I had him in fantasy a few years ago. He's good, man. Derek Carr. Derek Carr is just so slept on. Nobody wants to give him any love. He's not the Mahomes or the Lamar that pulls something spectacular out of his you-know-what. Not the Aaron Rodgers. Hell, he's not even Breeze with his completion percentage. But he's not bad in his completion percentage. He only missed through 10 passes. He had no picks. The problem was he was sacked 3 times.
Who's that?
Drew Brees wasn't sacked. Derek Carr. Derek Carr's not bad. This offense has got a lot of pop to it. Josh Jacobs can break out a long run at any moment. Darren Waller, like I said, might be the 3rd best tight end in the league. I'd have to just label everybody, but we know who the 2 are.
Hold on, Dink and Dunk. You ready?
I'm listening.
So Carr completed more passes and had less yards.
Yeah.
So who's dinking and dunking?
I don't know.
The guy who threw more passes for less yards.
I don't know about
that. Hunter, I'm just telling you, be careful before you start throwing Drew Brees in the tank.
I will throw Drew Brees in the tank. You know why? Because he might make the playoffs, but I can't guarantee it's because he wins the division now.
Tom says points for Kevin.
No.
What place are the Saints in, Hunter?
They're tied for first.
And who are they tied with?
They're tied with the Bucks.
And they beat them?
They're going to lose at Tampa Bay. I'm just sitting here saying they're going to lose at Tampa Bay.
Cakewalk or something.
And no, Tom, there are no points for Kevin. Okay, there are none. Did you watch the football game?
Yes, there is.
I'm sorry. One of the 2 here at this table chose the Saints to win that and thought the other person was crazy for choosing the Raiders. As a matter of fact, Gene also chose the Raiders.
They did.
So I'm sorry, Tom, that my picks last week went 14-2. So.
Hunter, that's what Hunter's pumped about. It ain't got nothing to do with that, with Drew Brees. You just want to talk. All right. I did not think we were going to spend 10 minutes trashing Drew Brees, but since we were, I'm going to go through last week's scores real quick. All right, Hunter, this is a good one. Blake Bortles signs with Denver.
Yes, I saw that.
He has more career playoff wins than Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Matt Stafford, and Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Combined.
I think he has, 2?
He's 2-1.
Yeah, he's got 2. Because that was when Saxonville came alive and they got beat by the damn Patriots in the playoffs.
So, again, let me repeat that. Blake Bortles has 2 playoff wins. All those other people combined have less than that. And if you want to throw Dak Prescott in that too, Hunter, then you can say Bortles has as many wins as all these jokers. Bortles thrown 35 touchdowns in a season. How many players have thrown for 35 touchdowns in a season?
I was going to say this, and
Deshaun Watson's top is 26.
I was going to get a lot of flack to it, but I don't think Blake Bortles is as bad as people think he is. I'm not going to sit here and say he's great. I don't think he's better than Lamar. I don't think he's better than Matt Stafford. I don't think he's better than, a couple other people that you listed. He's got more playoff wins than. It's all about your surroundings and where you are and who's on your team and all that good stuff, everything that the franchise that you're with. He was with Jacksonville, damn it. And Jacksonville has been the 2nd worst winning team in football for almost, 15 years at this point?
They're favored Thursday night.
I know. They are favored Thursday night.
The Jaguars
are
favored.
You know why?
On Thursday night football.
You know why? It's Minshew Mania. That and 2 weeks in a row after they shipped everybody out of town, they scored 30 points. So they can score. And Miami doesn't have that great of a defense. But Blake Bortles going to the Broncos. I'm going to say this. I'm taking that. That's the damn dark horse I have to just take off now. I think the Broncos are done. I don't think they make the playoffs now. If Drew Lock was playing, maybe. I think they said he's out 3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep. All right, we got a couple other injuries to talk about too, Hunter. First, did you see this Tyrod Taylor news?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
How is that not, first of all, a firing of a medical staff, and 2, workers' comp? I don't know if there is workers' comp in the NFL because, it's a contact sport. Guys get hurt at practice all the time. But when you're putting trust in a medical staff and he essentially ruins your season, like, how do you not go to the owner and say, I have every right to sue right now?
Like, all right, folks. He,
For cracked
Tyrod
ribs.
Taylor was getting an injection in his ribs, pain injection for the game, and it says it's a blind operation. I did read it, so this does happen. But the doctor missed it. Basically, went through the rib cage in his muscle and through that and punctured a lung. So the doctor punctured the quarterback's lung, and that's why we got Herbert on Sunday.
Now we have Herbert going forward.
Everybody's saying Herbert played great. What was the score?
The score was 20 to 23 or something. Yeah.
So he got 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
If Patrick Mahomes has a regular day and they get 45,
well, they get blown out.
Are we talking about how great of a day Herbert had?
Well,
that's my point on these quarterbacks.
Yeah, but Herbert didn't play bad. It's the eye test. You just look at the numbers. It's the eye test. He didn't play
20
bad.
points. So you're telling me Herbert played better than Breeze?
Who's got better players?
Who played better? Herbert
Who's got
Breeze?
better players?
Probably Chargers.
No, I'm talking about what we're talking. You just asked me what would it be if the Kansas City scored 40 and the Chargers scored 20.
Yeah.
Well, who had the better team? Who's got the better players?
But we wouldn't be talking about Herbert playing a good game when because they're saying he almost beat, and that's the thing. He almost beat Patrick Mahomes. We always put on these quarterbacks from like, well, the defense didn't do anything. Well, the offense did. He scored 20 points.
Right.
That's not a lot.
The average is only 23.
Right. Below that, he was below.
All
average.
you got to do is get his field goal kicker to hit a field goal.
So
he's there.
He did what he was supposed to do.
Right.
So let's not put Herbert on a pedestal and go ahead and throw Drew Brees, maybe the greatest passer we've ever had, into the
I'm
dumpster
throwing
fire.
Drew Brees under the bus, and I don't. It doesn't bother me. It's because I've seen it before.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Brees had more yards than 20 NFL quarterbacks this week. That means he was 12th in total yards this week. Passing.
It's all right.
He's trash, folks. All right, real quick, final note on Blake Bortles before we talk about the Panthers. Jeff Driscoll and Blake Bortles were rivals in high school.
I think Driscoll ended up at Florida, and Blake Bortles ended up at Central Florida.
Bortles went. That's the name of the high schools. Driscoll was a year younger and was considered the better prospect. He was the number one pro-style quarterback that went to Florida. Bortles went to Central Florida. So there were actually high school rivalries there in Florida, and now Bortles is coming to take his job off the street without even practicing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Blake Bortles was on the Rams roster last year.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Him and Jared Goff are like buddy. So they just hung out together. And I don't know, maybe Sean McVay worked a little bit with him and that offensive scheme. I don't know. I mean, you made a very good point. He threw, 35, 36 touchdowns in a game or in a season one time?
35 in a season.
So, I mean, that's
coming
a
Cam
lot.
doing his MVP.
That's a lot. Last year, Lamar threw about 34,
Put it
35.
this way, Cam's most touchdowns is 35. Bortles' most is 35. Blake Bortles has a higher career rushing average than Cam.
He does. I think, yeah, he does.
And he has 2 playoffs. He's 2-1 in the playoffs. Cam is 3-4. Dun, dun,
Like
dun.
I said, it all is just about the environment you're in, and Blake Bortles just, for all we know, it could have just been Jacksonville. Maybe it wasn't just him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was Jacksonville as a whole that we see is even trying to tank, but their own quarterback is essentially bucking the system, saying, "Well, screw that. I'm gonna go out here and try and win."
Yeah.
So.
Well, good for him. Good for Minshew. So if he gets up with somebody else is going to.
I will say
fairly
this though.
decent quarterback.
Only other thing, Tyrod. Man, but Chargers, this ain't a damn good look. You guys can't get away from injuries to begin with. Now you're hurting your own players.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. And then our own, we got an injury in our own backyard.
Yeah. Let's talk about. Now this one ruined a lot of fantasy teams.
It's mine.
A lot of Madden games.
It's mine.
All
My
kinds
fantasy.
of things. Christian McCaffrey goes down with a high ankle sprain, I guess is what they're calling it.
That's what they're calling it. But if it's going to be 3 to 5 weeks, I know they usually tell you that's probably a good time to sit out. 6 weeks maybe at max.
Doctors recommending 4 to 6. He's on the injured reserve for 3 is the official word from Carolina today.
I know it's a freak thing though. Whenever you sprain your ankle, sometimes it's not always, from workload. But what have I said, and a lot of us have said since he came in the league? What's gonna happen when he gets hurt? The Panthers have been so McCaffrey centric in this offense for the past 2-3 years now. The workload eventually was going to catch up to him. And I hate it happened. I don't wish injury upon anybody, especially someone as talented as Christian McCaffrey is. But does it surprise me? I think what surprises me is it took this long for him to actually have a serious injury where it's going to keep him out at least 3 to 4 weeks, missing 3 to 4 games.
Has he missed any games yet?
I don't think he's missed any games. I think he's done a good job being able to stay durable, and then this happened. Like I said, I know maybe I don't remember the play it happened. I don't know if somebody rolled up on him or what happened, but that's what happens when he's so centric in your offense and you barely run your backup running back.
So
you just run the risk.
K'Wan Short is not in uniform after missing Sunday's game, but he's at practice in a red jersey and sweatpants. Gross Matos.
Yato Gross Matos.
What a name. Gross Matos.
I just put the Latino accent on that. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he's Samoan. He's from Penn State.
Yeah, you messed that up if you did. He's in a green jersey and he's limited and set to return this week. And Dennis Daly, the left guard, is in a red jersey, which is a step towards returning.
Well, I will tell you what. Listen, that's
means.
all fine and dandy, Carolina. But now I get to see what your offensive plan is now that Baby Boy is out. Now that the gym to your infinity gauntlet has officially just been broken. I want to see what you do now.
They paid him yet?
Yeah, he got his contract like last year.
Right.
He was. I don't know if he still is the highest paid because I think they paid somebody else this past offseason. Maybe Derrick Henry? I don't know. Regardless. But he did get his money. So good for him. He got his money before an injury. And it's not, I know a high ankle sprain is not career ending, but I'm just saying, I'm surprised it really took him this long to get this kind of injury.
Well, when you get that many touches,
with the workload that he gets. We could sit here and probably say he's every bit 80%, 85% of this offense.
It's ridiculous. I think he's a good player. I don't think you should revolve your whole offense. You can't revolve the passing game around your running back.
No.
And no matter how good he is, you want to use him in spots. So, like, say, you want to use him in the Marshall Faulk type sense, to where you're not just feeding him the ball where the defense can key on him. You like to sneak your running back out there when they're looking at someone else, like another wide receiver or a tight end, and then he can get.
They're
one-on-one
usually
matchup.
just a safety net,
right? And then the Panthers have been using it differently, and I've not been a fan
line
of
him
that,
up at the slot, and a lot of teams are lining up there if they're pass catching wide receivers in the slot if they can.
Their depth chart right now only lists Mike Davis and Trenton Cannon,
and I don't know either one.
And so here's what happens. So Hunter, what Dallas did, when they signed Zeke, a lot of teams when they got say look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How many running backs they got?
They got 3 by committee
That are decent,
right? Yeah. Well, Shady McCoy's kind of
he's questionable right now.
Yeah.
But the Panthers and Cowboys, once they paid these running backs,
who's their backup?
They can't. So people don't get when they say they're gonna who their backup is. So if you give $16 million to your starter, the backups aren't going to get anything.
Nothing. They're probably just drafted or they're practice guys.
They're going to be nobodies, right? So Cowboys are in that situation. If Zeke goes down, Panthers are in that situation.
I think they have still
McCaffrey
Tony Pollard with Dallas.
What I meant by it, he's the only person on the roster.
Oh,
they're only actually keeping two running backs.
A high contact position, and they only have 2. Meanwhile, a lot of other teams that are running back by committee, they have 2 to 3, maybe even 4.
Yeah, a lot of times you get a fourth running back in there instead of a defender.
I will say
who
this:
can return kicks, but that fourth guy's got to play special
Carolina
teams.
missed out on an opportunity here. You could have probably signed him for a league minimum. Devontae Freeman was just sitting out there, was the running back for the Falcons for all those years till they cut him and brought in Gurley, but he just signed to replace Saquon, who's out for the year up in New York. So,
well, if you look at it, people you want to know about the cap and if they should have signed him. Let's say if they didn't sign him, there's probably a 95% chance he would have held out in camp, and he wouldn't have been hurt, and then they still would have paid him. The question is for Panthers fans, for the team, And the reason I don't like, feeding him the ball in that situation is that why give your best player all these touches on a team that's not going to win, and you're getting beat up and beat up and beat up when, maybe this year, Hunter, you can work other people. You can spread the ball around. You can do other things as opposed to getting him beat up while you're getting beat.
I was just about to say, not the injury, but this might be a blessing in disguise for the Panthers because then they can see what else they have and what else they can work with in case this ever happens again. Or maybe their offense looks better if it's not so Christian McCaffrey-centric. Look, I know he is a stud, but even the Saints, Alvin Kamara is a stud, and they don't throw the ball to him nearly as much as they do with McCaffrey, especially when Michael Thomas is playing.
I think
so. Now this is the Panthers' opportunity to see if DJ Moore is that guy, if signing Robbie Anderson was the play. Maybe seeing, because you lost Greg Olsen, is the tight end that you have, is he the guy, or do we need to start looking out for somewhere else? Because other than that, they weren't even looking at these receivers. It was always, well, they're not there, but guess who is? Christian. McCaffrey is right there. Just if they're not there, boom, he's right there.
So let's say it takes them 3 years for Matt Rule to get a good team put together and everything. That's
probably.
Think about it. That's 3 years
on McCaffrey.
Of McCaffrey, how many touches a year?
Too many.
So, and that's what I'm
Think
getting
about
at.
What was he at last week before he got hurt?
Well, what happens when he's 28 years old and we're in the 4th year of the Matt Rule era, and I don't know, he's starting to wear down. I think they need to find so Marshall Faulk is probably the best pass catching receiver that I think, running back, and he actually had 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers on his team. So they didn't have to feed him the ball, and that's what made Marshall so dangerous. And I don't like the McCaffrey feeding him.
McCaffrey week 1 had 26 touches.
Okay.
23 carries, 3 passing.
That's 400 touches a year. So 1,200 being tackled 1,200 times in the next 3 years, Hunter.
I mean, and that's not even me looking at what he had against the Buccaneers before he got injured.
Yeah.
I don't know how many he had this week. And I've just been saying this for years, or at least after his rookie season, because that's when you definitely saw how they wanted to use him. I said, there's no way he can continue to be able to take this kind of workload. And it has nothing to do with his skill set. It's just, I don't think anybody can really afford to continue to take that kind of load. Like, think about it. As much as I praise how good of a running back Derrick Henry is because he's a bulldozer, do you really think his body's going to last if he just continues to get 35 rushes a game?
3 or 4 years out of that.
That's it. And even I recognize that. And that's the same thing with Christian McCaffrey. You can run him maybe 20 times a game, but does it really help if he gets 9 to 10 targets a game? Then you're at legitimately 30 touches of him just getting smacked and smacked and smacked. I mean, it's eventually going to wear down on him. And when you've got that kind of, they don't really have bell cow running backs anymore because they found out they really don't last long.
I think McCaffrey needs a agent, someone to talk to him from a business side about it and be like,
because he did come out and say, I was a year or two ago, he's like, he doesn't mind the workload. And I'm like, hey, cool, you're a gamer. Right, I get it. I get it.
That's what I mean. He needs someone in his camp, though, to say, too many millions to be like that anymore. You worked your butt off in high school. You worked your butt off in college.
They don't Adrian. They're not just running Adrian Petersons out there anymore. Right. That'll take the 26, 27 touches every game for like 8 years.
And he worked out and he got his giant contract. Now it's time to take care of yourself. You can't. You just can't go.
What was it? Marshawn said, take care of your mentals, take care of your body, and take care of your chicken. So
yeah,
whatever the chicken part meant. Hey, everybody knows.
Always take care of your chicken.
Always take care of your chickens.
Completion percentage leaders right now, Hunter. Russell Wilson's 83%,
and he's got 9 touchdowns in 2 games.
It's so stupid. 9 touchdowns, 1 pick.
And that pick wasn't even his fault. Did you see the pick he threw? It went through Greg Olsen's hands.
Did it?
It went boom and then right into the.
Was it time for him to retire?
Greg?
Yeah,
maybe.
Obviously,
maybe.
Send him out of here.
I mean, you could really think about it. Is he the best tight end that Seattle has? Because I think his last name's Disley, He was a beast last year for them, but I think he tore his ACL or he had a substantial injury, took him out for the rest of the season. He's back this year.
So I got one other we're staying with the Panthers. I got another. This is the funniest story I've read in a while, Hunter. And I've been meaning to bring it up for a week.
Tell me, what's the story?
Please tell me you saw the Robbie Anderson story.
About him looking up there and be like, what's that cat or what's that bear doing?
Yes.
He did. He said, Sir Purr.
Yes.
Is that what you call him? He said,
hold on, I gotta compose myself. I'm gonna read it to you guys. I've got the story right here.
He looked up there and said, what's that bear doing?
Let me
He said, that's Sir Purr. He said, Sir who? Sir Purr. That's what you call him?
Jeez. That's funny. All right, so here, let me go down and read it. So Robbie Anderson, looking up at Sir Purr, I'm going to pull up a picture of Sir Purr for our fans at home that I actually took, Hunter, so nobody's going to.
No copyrights. Nobody claims.
No copyright this one, I guess. We'll see.
You took it. You have ownership.
Yeah, I'm going to copyright myself. What if YouTube took it off for copywriting myself?
Oh, God.
All right. So you guys see Sir Purr there, right? Holding up the Listen to the Panthers football, which I wrote on that. You like that? Photoshopping on that?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's not what that sign said.
Okay.
He wanted louder.
Louder.
Or noise or something like that. But anyway. So Sir Purr there. And they ain't got no fans, so they ain't got nothing else to do but watch the mascot, I guess.
They put him on the big screen.
Is that where he saw him at?
He saw him on the Jumbotron, yeah.
Robbie Anderson, new free agent. He plays for the Panthers.
That's who he plays for.
I can't. Oh God, let me think. Hunter, he plays for the Panthers. Spit all over my mic. He looked up at Sir Purr, which is the Panthers mascot, and Sir Purr. I don't even. DJ Robbie Anderson said, "What is that bear doing?" I wonder if they've got this on here. I wonder if they've got the actual audio. If they do they?
Yeah, they have the audio.
We'll pull up the audio.
They have the audio. I'm telling you, that is some of the funniest shit.
Said,
I swear.
What's that bear doing? DJ Moore said bear, and Robbie said Robbie said Panther, and DJ said that's Sir Pro, bro. And he says y'all call him that, and he just laughed.
I mean, Robbie did not. Robbie, you've been there every bit like 2 or 3 months, maybe this off season, and you just didn't know. Yeah, that says it. Yeah, he said, what's that bear doing? When he said, what's that bear doing? I was like, oh, my God.
All right, I'm going to play it into the microphone. I think we can hear this, Hunter.
What's that bear doing? The bear. Panther. That's Sir Purr, bro. Who? Sir Purr. How you say that? Sir Purr. Sir Purr. Oh, Sir Purr? Wow. You call him that? So you be like, what's up, Sir Purr?
He'd be like, what's up, Sir Purr?
Hunter. All right, I'm gonna throw you under the bus for 2 seconds.
Why?
Don't get defensive. Your generation
Shut up.
sucks.
Shut up. Shut up.
Y'all don't pay attention to nothing except what's on your phone. You've got blinders on and what's in front of you.
Even
and if anything else in the world happens,
I sat there and said, there's no way he literally just said, what's that bear doing? And it's the mascot.
What's that bear doing?
What?
In Carolina at the Panthers. His new team.
I know. You think he would know.
Like most I'm gonna blame the Panthers for this one, Hunter. I'm gonna blame the Panthers. Sir Purr should have been at his signing, and this should have been cleared up.
Yes.
That is awesome. I'm gonna play that one more time for you folks can hear. The first part, he says, "What's that bear doing?" I know that's not kind of clear, but the rest of it is. It's them sitting on the bench talking.
That bear. The bear. Panther. That's Sir Purr, bro. Who? Sir Purr. How you say that? Sir Purr. Sir Purr. Oh, Sir Purr. Wow. You call him that? Yeah, that's his name. So you be like, what's up, Sir Purr?
He said, you call him that? He said, that's his name. He said, oh. See,
Not only is that hilarious, first of all, But as a Panthers fan, if I was, I would have a couple of questions. Is this guy smart? Does he know the playbook? And if he does and all that, why are they sitting on the bench during the middle of a game discussing whether Serper's a bear and what to call him or not? Like, they have nothing else to talk about? Like, coverages, this guy's doing this. Hey, Teddy, get me open.
I don't know.
Somebody throw it to me besides McCaffrey.
I don't know. I didn't look into it much deeper than that because I just saw him say, "What's that bear doing?" And
That's
I
awesome.
seriously was
That's
like,
so awesome.
"Are you kidding me right now?" You look at your own mascot
this
and you're
bear.
the Panthers and you said, "What's this bear doing?" He does not look like a bear.
He kind of does, Hunter.
Well, depends on what kind of bear you're talking about. I mean, I don't think he
A
does.
black bear?
I don't think he does.
Do the Bears have a mascot? Chicago? I don't know if I've ever seen
Really? I don't know. I don't think he looks like a bear. I think it's very distinguishable to be a panther.
They killing him on here, Hunter.
Oh, God. Sir Purr.
Hey, and Robbie has played outstanding.
Robbie
so
has
far.
played good.
He has played good so far.
First game, he had 114 yards.
He's getting open. He is.
One of the things that really was good about Robbie Anderson.
Here's Sir Purr right now all by himself up there in the stands.
One of the good things that Robbie Anderson did when he was with the Jets, he could get separation and was a deep threat because he had wheels. He was fast.
Hunter, what's that bear doing?
I can tell you what that Panther's doing.
What's that bear doing?
I can tell you what that Panther's doing. He's sitting there swinging that flag all around.
Look at that bear.
Look at that bear. Go to your kids and just be like, "Hey, what's that bear doing?" See if your kids. I bet you if you showed your kids that, they would be like, "That's a panther." Do they know that's the Panthers mascot?
Look, there's Goldilocks and the Six Bears.
That doesn't look like Cam.
That's I don't know where all these purrs come from. They got baby purrs and all that stuff. Here's a Fred Flintstone purr.
Oh my gosh.
Yabba Dabba Doo purr is what they called him on that one.
Oh my gosh.
But is that a bear, Hunter?
No, it's not a bear.
What's that bear doing?
What's that bear doing?
But really, Robbie, you playing good. The least you could do is find out your mascot's name.
Hey,
but anyway,
stick to sports.
hey, yeah, stick to sports, whatever. The hair.
I don't like it.
So
That's weird, dude.
I like cool hair. I like creative hair.
Yeah.
But what him and Cam are doing
I don't know.
is the sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I know.
All right,
Bob.
I didn't know if you're old enough for that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I know they're still showing now. But,
Yes, but I just don't understand.
I mean, is that not him and Cam's hair?
That's more Robbie's than it is Cam's. At least Cam's looks more like dreads, but
Yeah.
this, I just don't know, dude.
Look at that. But I like cool hair. It's just that one's. I don't know if I'm a fan of that style.
I don't know.
I think
To
that's
me,
not, I think that
to
one's
me,
not
it kind
mine.
of just looks like he goes into his barber and says, "I really don't care. Just
You
do
think
what
he goes
you
to the
want."
barber?
Maybe. How else does he get him to look like Spikes?
I don't know.
He just cuts them at home.
I don't know.
I have to just hold up. Wait a minute. I'll be out on the practice field in a second. I
Nah.
gotta sharpen this point up.
That's a good question, Hunter.
I don't know.
You talk about Dink and Dunk League. I don't know how long ago it was, but there are 26 passers in the first 2 weeks that are over 60% right now.
Jared Goff's one of them, isn't he? He's pretty
I mean,
close.
there's 26 of them, Hunter. There's only 5 that aren't. Here's who isn't.
Then switch it.
Baker, Mitchell, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford, your quarterback, Tyrod, and Driscoll.
Your quarterback. I understand.
So, speaking of that, all right, while we're on this, before we get to NBA, I do want to go through the divisions and do something real fun for a sec.
All right.
Because we got a text the other day and made me think about something. From the great Kerry Earnhardt. He said that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC East.
I thought you were going to say NFL. I about to be like, can he not be stupid?
He said NFC East.
Okay.
So, let's say maybe it's true.
Well, if that's the case, I want to sit here and say something else. Is it really that hard?
Well, I'm glad you said that. Because I didn't respond, but I was going to.
Is it really that difficult?
My response was, a Texas A&M quarterback should be better than a Duke, North Dakota State, and, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ohio State quarterback?
Dak didn't play at Texas A&M. Dak played at Mississippi State.
Either way, SEC quarterbacks.
Burgundy. Yes.
Yeah. Maroon, burgundy, crap colors. Anyway, poop colors.
Whatever.
My point is, shouldn't the SEC quarterback be better than a Dookie, a North Dakota State, and we all know Ohio State quarterbacks aren't good.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, should he? I mean, the SEC is the best conference in college football, so maybe.
Look at it that way.
Just maybe.
So let's go through I'm going to go through the quarterbacks. So where all they went to college and kind of have a little fun with this. So see if you can help me out.
Mm-hmm. I'll do what I can.
Russell Wilson, Wisconsin.
It's NC State, Wisconsin. So whichever you prefer.
NC State got rid of him, so
Wisconsin.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff played at Cal. He did play at Cal, Pac-12. Garoppolo played at like Middle Tennessee State or something. He played at a small school. I can't quite remember. It's small though.
Kyler Murray
played. He was a transfer originally. Texas A&M, went to Oklahoma.
Rogers Cal. Kirk Cousins
played at Michigan State.
Trubisky.
North Carolina.
Stafford.
Matt Stafford played at Georgia.
Breeze, Purdue. Brady, Michigan. Matt Ryan, Boston College.
BC.
Teddy Bridgewater, Louisville.
Yeah. What's so crazy to think about, Louisville went from Teddy Bridgewater to Lamar Jackson. Back to back.
That's not bad. Where did Derek Carr go?
Derek Carr played at Fresno State.
Drew Lock
played at Missouri.
Mahomes at Texas Tech.
My homeboy.
Minshew
played at Washington State under Coach Leach, who is now the head coach at Mississippi State.
Tannehill was at A&M, right?
Yes. What's so crazy, a lot of people really don't know this, Tannehill was a wide receiver turned quarterback at Texas A&M. Athlete.
You don't often get turned into a quarterback.
But
how bad of a wide receiver was he to get turned into a quarterback?
But look at what he is now as a quarterback. He's playing pretty damn good.
Bingo. Let's see. That's
Joe Burrow played at
LSU. Baker.
Oklahoma.
Lamar at Louisville. Big Ben. Miami of Ohio.
Oh, aren't they the Red Hawks? Isn't that what they are?
Yeah, Dolphins, Alabama. Yeah. Sam Darnold.
Technically, the Dolphins have Fitzpatrick, who is Harvard.
Yeah. Jets. Where's Sam Darnold?
Southern Cal,
USC. Josh Allen.
Wyoming.
And the Patriots.
Cam is Auburn. Technically, some JUCO in Florida.
Yeah, he's from a JUCO in Florida. All right, so looking at this list, Hunter.
Technically, Florida. Couldn't beat out Tim Tebow.
I'm gonna say these by division by schools.
And
let's see who's the best based on that. So Eagles got North Dakota State, Mississippi State, Ohio State, and Duke.
Ew.
That's pretty bad. Now, the rest of these leagues almost all have Power 5 schools except for a couple. So the NFC South, all Power 5. NFC North, all Power 5. Texas, Mississippi, nope, not there. NFC South, all Power 5. AFC South, not NFC. AFC South, all Power 5. Now, the ones that don't have Power 5 schools, you ready?
Yes.
The Raiders in the AFC West.
Yes, Fresno.
So there's one in that division. The Eagles.
Division 2.
49ers.
Wait, no, that's not Division 2, is it?
Who?
North Dakota State. Technically, that's about to say that's Division 1 FCS.
1AA,
yeah, whatever.
So there's 3 there. Oklahoma, Louisville. We got 2 Louisville quarterbacks. Miami of Ohio, Big Ben.
Jimmy Garoppolo, go ahead and throw him on there.
I did. He was the third one.
Okay.
Said San Francisco. So you've only got 4 quarterbacks that did not go to a Power 5 conference in the NFL.
You might have, what'd you say, 4?
Mm-hmm.
You might have 5 because they said the North Dakota State quarterback this year might get drafted high too.
It might. How does a quarterback like Wentz and these guys get to North Dakota and and Romo to Eastern
Listen,
Illinois. And
Josh
Steve,
Allen didn't even get an offer
Steve
outside of Wyoming.
Steve McNair.
He's from California.
Now think about that. Y'all give me heck about the Chaz thing.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, an NFL quarterback, did not get an offer outside of the state of Wyoming.
Wyoming was like the only one that offered him.
Ryan Tannehill didn't even play quarterback until college. Like, these coaches, it doesn't seem like Hunter actually know what they're talking about. Am I going out on a limb? Am I going out on a limb?
No,
on this?
they might not.
Or are they just recruiting the best athletes they can and whatever they can and put them out there?
They might not, because I want you to think about that. Josh Allen his only offer really, like from a Division I school, was Wyoming, and guess where he's from? From California. None of those
There's only like
schools
70 schools out there
in California that are even Division I were like, hey, yo,
it's crazy.
Maybe you want to come and play with us? I don't know. You're 6'5", 240. I mean, you can run like a deer. I don't know.
All right, Hunter.
He was a famous Idaho Potato Bowl MVP. That literally
read that again.
The famous. That is the name of the bowl game.
Yeah.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl MVP. How much do you think about that? Like, he's putting on a show this year in his first 2 games.
I'm still pulling for the.
And he was only ever second team Mountain West once.
I'm pulling for the. Crap. I just lost my train of thought reading this headline over here.
You're
like,
pulling
why
for
is
a
that on
certain bowl.
ESPN?
Are you wanting a certain bowl game to happen?
Yes, the toilet bowl.
Yes.
We're pulling for the Bills to get renamed by the bidet company. A bidet company is trying to purchase the rights of Bills Stadium, and then they want to start a bowl game and call it the toilet bowl. I can't make that up.
Barstool said that they would fill the vacancy this year for a couple million if they wanted.
Awesome.
Could you imagine that?
It's
Roger
awesome.
Goodell hates everything about Barstool. Like he has banned multiple people from them from like coming to like press conferences and like NFL events. And imagine if a stadium in his league was named Barstool Stadium. Oh, he would shit a brick.
I'm just reading some of these. Like it's just so funny. Like the reactions we have from one loss or one win from a team. Looking here, you ready to talk?
I'm
NBA?
all in on it. Let's go NBA. I watched that game.
Hold on. First, Michael Jordan.
This is technically not NBA talk, though.
I know, but I want to talk. Michael, you can't say technically Michael Jordan's not NBA talk. Whatever he does, son.
But it's not. It has nothing to do with the NBA.
Kobe died, and he had all the NBA. He had that NBA stuff everywhere. He wasn't in the NBA. They shut the league down and put up numbers and did all kinds of things. For Kobe, he wasn't in the NBA.
No,
are you ready?
No, I'm just saying the Michael Jordan, like
he's changed his number, folks, from 23 to 13. Michael Jordan enters the NASCAR arena. Hunter and I have been talking about this all year, really.
About how he hasn't. First of all,
we did. We talked about this so much.
He jumped what me and you were talking about. Yeah. We were just talking about how Jordan has not sponsored a car.
We said he should be a team sponsor. Team Jordan should throw out the $3 million.
He already sponsors Denny, just like on his clothes. Like he sponsors Denny, and well, damn it, he won up us by a lot. He's just gonna start his own damn race team.
Yeah, so he's gonna start the whole team. We do not know if Jordan Brand still may be a sponsor. He may be able to pull a Nike sponsor out of that. If he's smart, he'll get Nike to sponsor the car and not his own money. Make Chris Paul and all them pay for it.
Yeah.
But so basically what happened is the Chastain
which you're
car,
not wrong though.
Yeah.
Like that'd be the smartest business move. Jordan literally going, Nike, I own a NASCAR team. How about you just sponsor it?
You know what'd even be smarter than that? If you don't sponsor, I'm calling Adidas.
Oh. And then you're going to have a bidding war. Start a bidding war.
And the lawyers are everywhere. Oof. I'm calling Under Armour if you guys don't want to
yikes.
Sponsor the car.
Big
At least
yikes.
a secondary sponsor out of Nike.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the main car sponsor. Yeah. Could you imagine that, though? Bubba Wallace driving around in a Nike Air Jordan
logo on the logo. It'd be car. Awesome.
Now, what I didn't understand from the announcement, Does this mean Denny is leaving JGR, or is he just going to be a co-owner?
So you actually can't own another car
While you're racing?
kind of thing. So Jordan's the owner, and Denny's going to own a percentage of it and help, I guess, a little bit with it. Jeff Gordon used to do this with Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon owns the 48 car.
Damn, he's making a killing, ain't he?
Yes, he did. Think about that. While Gordon's getting beat by him every week,
Just breaking in that check.
he's getting paid a part of that money.
It's like, hey, that's business. That's smart.
Right. So Gordon, is getting some of the.
Because I was going to say, think about that. JGR loses probably one of the best drivers in NASCAR because he wants to go team up with his buddy.
Right.
If I'm Michael, I'm nudging him a little bit, saying, "Hey, man, look, I know you got a lot of loyalty right here, but I can maybe slide you a little bit of extra money if you want to come race for me." Think about it. He would already have a great pool because he's got Bubba, and then he would have Denny. I mean, why would you not? I think, seriously, that would be the move. Sure, you might ruffle a couple wrong feathers, and that's really probably a bridge you don't want to burn if you're Denny by just up and leaving Joe Gibbs and everything that he's done for you. But at the same time,
He
could do something completely different.
So, couple of things with Denny, and this is how racing works, is the sponsorship stuff. So you got.
Could he take FedEx?
Well, no. Bubba's car is not going to be good.
Well, no, it's not.
Can I just say that?
Well, it's
before we go any
not.
further. Okay. Couple of factors.
It's brand spanking new. Very rarely are they good out of the gate.
Well, right. Like, is this one car team going to be able to beat or compete with? He's in the same situation as it was at Petty to me.
I bet you he's getting a hell of a
Except
paycheck.
he'll get probably a little bit more on the ownership part and whatever. But to me, as far as the cars, like, okay, so for example, this year, Hunter, Geico's the main sponsor on the 13 car. They've been a big sponsor in the series forever. Do they stay? Now, the other question is, this is Ty Dillon who's driving it. It's a Chevrolet, okay? Denny Hamlin is a Toyota driver.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the question. Will they be able, or will they switch over to the Toyotas or stick in Chevys? We all know Chevys are not competing for wins on a week-to-week basis. They can win this track and that track and whatever, but on a week-to-week thing, the Fords are beating everybody, then Toyota and then Chevy.
Yes, this is NBA talk.
So basically what you're doing, Hunter, is putting Bubba Wallace from one car to another car and changing numbers and some logos and stuff. So until I find out if it's Ford or Toyota as opposed to Chevy, and then find out.
Do you think Bubba just literally went, instead of doing this, he went like this?
Yeah, he's in the same spot. He's in the teens and 20s right now. Under no circumstances would I pick them to win a or the race or make the playoffs right now. You have to see what their team's going to do.
Well, what is he just pulling this out overnight, and they're expecting to be ready by next year?
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's got the money, so it doesn't surprise me. But still,
yeah.
Okay. What is the name of the team going to be called? Air Jordan.
I'm not sure. Well, this is Germain Racing is who owns the 13 now and who's selling it to it. So it'll be like I said, in the Ty Dillon car, but it's Germain Racing. So you have a charter, is what they sell. You get to buy the numbers and charters or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how all that works.
I'm just saying,
but Germain,
is it going to be Jordan Racing? Like, you know how JGR, Joe Gibbs Racing? Is it going to be MJR, Michael Jordan Racing?
Hope it's not Jordan Hamlin.
No. The guy that's footing the most bills probably going to have his name.
Every time I hear Hamlin's name, though, he has not won a championship, though. I think he's had a lot of wins to not win one. He's one of those ones that's had a lot. You know, Jimmy broke his heart once, maybe twice, and he just. Denny's a good driver, but we'll see. The 13 car, unlucky number.
Hey, but we can sit here and say we kind of called this.
Yeah,
we kind of. Now he jumped over just what we said, but we kind of called this.
Mm-hmm.
And so
we're gonna take
Michael Jordan officially joining NASCAR.
All right, Hunter, you ready to pick the Heat to win the series yet? Why is it so hard for you?
Because I don't like being that guy that just flip flops.
No, that's because you picked the Celtics.
Yeah, it's because that's because I picked the Celtics to win, and I like to stick with my picks. You know, I like to be that guy. I'm not like you see some of these guys on TV, and they're like, Oh, well, I mean, 2 games. And it's like, oh, nope, jumping ship. Nope, the Heat are going to win this. No, I chose the Boston Celtics. I'm going to stick and ride with Boston to win the series.
Boston's favored.
But I'm gonna,
By 3.5
tell
tonight.
you, I've said this multiple shows, Saturdays or Mondays and Wednesdays, since this series started and after Game 1. It would not surprise me if the Miami Heat win this series. It would not surprise me. They just have that dog mentality in them, and they essentially play bully ball and don't beat themselves, whereas Boston beats themselves. They are hot and cold. When they're hot, they're super hot. You know, all of them can score at will. They got scores all over the floor. When they're cold, it's a mental game. And what I think is difficult for them when it gets to be mental, it's because they're still young. It's because Jason Tatum is 22. Jaylen Brown is 23. Like, they're babies. So if you're a Boston fan, like, I think they'll make it to the finals, but I think you've got a long run coming forward where you're going to try and make the finals, but they are babies. And if it gets in their mental, because I'm going to tell you what, mentally, Jimmy Butler's not going to break. No, that's not going to happen. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, maybe. Kemba, all the pressure's on Kemba, just left Charlotte. You were supposed to be the missing piece right now. There's a lot of pressure on these Boston Celtics teams.
Kemba might be the new guy, but he's the adult in the room.
Yeah. He's supposed to be the one that brings in the leadership quality that Kyrie didn't have.
Right. He's the adult in the room. Hayward's kind of older like that too. Good to have him back for them. But
yeah.
So they've got obviously the best wings, and the point guard. They should, if you look at it that way, they should win. They should have it. But again, this is team basketball, and certain things. You know, Hunter, how many 22 and 23-year-olds have led their team to a championship?
Rarely.
It don't happen. So
it just don't. They usually don't start winning until what? When LeBron and Michael started winning in their 20s, in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah,
that's just how it works. And what I saw in the Celtics Heat game is the same in Game 3. The same thing I saw last night in Game 3. Okay, Boston. And I know we'll get to them in a second, and Denver, both, those were emotional games. We cannot go down 3-0. We have to come out here swinging and play the best basketball that we can. And if Boston is able to do that on a consistent basis, they really should be the one that wins this series.
It's got Hayward listed as out, but in the starting lineup, is he playing tonight?
I don't know.
I mean, they could be totally wrong on this, obviously.
Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me. It might not be updated.
Who's their toughest guy, Hunter?
The toughest guy for Boston, Marcus Smart. You want to talk about a tough guy?
How tall is he?
Marcus Smart's like 6'3", maybe.
So we get in a brawl on this court. Y'all's toughest guy is 6'3".
The enforcer.
Your small forwards are, you know, the heavy-handed tough guys of Gordon Hayward and Jason Tatum.
Yeah, and Jaylen Brown whenever they switch him there.
Where'd he go? Brown go?
He went
Kansas?
to Cal.
Cal?
He played at Cal. He's pretty good, too. I like Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown, I mean, he obviously thrives here in Boston, but I think if he had his own team, he'd be fantastic. I think he'd be 30-plus a game because he's so difficult to guarding outside shot, inside shot. He creates his shot just like Jason Tatum do. I think they essentially really have the best play. I think they really do in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They have the same guy in both of them.
Hunter, I don't see relying on 22, 23-year-olds to be your leading scorer and win the title or maybe even get to it. I like the Heat in this series matchup. They've had
That's what I'm saying.
This bubble.
Jimmy is not gonna. He's not gonna lose that game.
Right. This bubble that we've put them in has allowed some teams are gonna find their rhythm and play good. That's what the Heat are playing well. They've got shooters. They've got Jimmy on the wing, but they don't have to rely on Butler to get all the points. Like
I'll say this:
get the points.
Right. I'll say this: if Miami wins tonight, series is over.
Think so?
I think Miami takes it. I don't not necessarily like the next game, but I would say Miami wins this 4-2. I think maybe the Celtics steal. If the Heat win tonight, Celtics have another one of those. We can't lose this game. Play up and then
6'3" guy being your
enforcer.
Your point guard is really a ball hawk who only averages 5 assists a game.
And he's only 5'11", 6 foot.
And
he's little.
And your wings are 22 and 23. So with all that talent, you know, they can play some ball. But again, This is the Western Conference, Eastern Conference finals and finals. At some point, it's going to...
At some point, the men
Right.
separate themselves from the boys.
Right.
Essentially. And I want to think about that. I'm 24, okay? Jason and Jalen are having a severe pressure, and they're a year to 2 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what I would even be able to do in that situation. That's like why it was so crazy to see how, Lamar Jackson, even him in a big game, and usually when the pressure's on him, he's so young. He's had trouble. Patrick Mahomes, for him, what he did at his young of an age, that's fantastic. But it don't always work that way for these guys that are from like age 25 down. It just doesn't. And you got a guy that will get in your mental just because of how hard he plays in Jimmy Butler. And he's not afraid of anybody. So he will take it at Jason and at Jalen all night. And they're going to have to mentally be able to be like, okay, I can stop him. Or they're going to see the ball go through the bucket a few times and say, I can't guard this guy. That's just how it's going to be. And then you got to ask as well, we know Jason Tatum's going to be able to put 30. He can put 30 up on the offensive side. So can Jaylen Brown. Or are you going to tell them maybe slack a little bit on the defensive side of the ball? You can't do that. Tyler Herro going to light you up from the three-point line if you do that. Dragic will do the same thing. Jay Crowder.
And Duncan Robinson.
They got three-point shooters all over the floor.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
I think Miami's a tougher team, and I think they're a better three-point shooting team. So
I think they are a more consistent three-point shooting team.
When I take those two combined, and then I look at Boston and I say, okay, if we went one-on-one, Kim will beat his man. If we went one-on-one, Jalen, Jason, maybe Hayward. All four of those might beat their man one-on-one. But
let's play team ball.
They can't out three-point shoot and defend and out tough Miami, I don't think. It's going to be a good series. It may go 7.
And think about it. What has kept most of these games close, at least games 1 and 2? They got Marcus Smart out there hitting 6 threes.
Yeah, he's been...
Does that happen all the time? Or has something just clicked for him and we got playoff Marcus?
That's how they beat Toronto. I guess we got playoff Marcus.
We got playoff Marcus right now.
He went off against
It's
them.
just not win away. So I'm going to be the guy, still stick with my pick. Boston, if you can do it, great. But I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Heat win tonight, Heat take the series.
You should have learned by now never pick with Terry. I don't know what you're doing.
I didn't. I mean, it's not that I agreed with Terry. I just used, like I said, I used my eyes and I know what I saw. And Boston had probably the best roster in the Eastern Conference, and I was going to ride with them. And then little did I know that the Heat all of a sudden were going to inject themselves with steroids and just come out here and bully walk everybody that they play.
Adam Silver said today, Hunter, the start of next season might maybe January.
January. I saw that.
Which Christmas is 5 days before it.
Who cares? Yeah, like I don't care.
Just come on.
I don't care. Like, don't try and compete with football.
Or New Year's Day will be fine.
Like, that's fine. What is it? If you do start in January, you're still going to be fighting viewership because that's when playoff football is. You got playoffs in the NFL, and then, well, not even. Because think about it. You might only have 8 games that you have to worry about. Maybe.
During the week, too.
Yeah, so I think it would be better. Instead of trying to start up, when do they usually start up? October?
Mm-hmm. Late October. It's like
yeah,
Halloween,
why? We got regular season football that more people care about than a game 2 or 3 of a 82 game season.
Yeah. All right. So Hunter, so you got you still hanging on strong. I'm still hanging on to my pick.
Yeah.
How you feel about the Nuggets? Are you feeling a little bit better about them now after waxing the Lakers the other night?
Last night, I will say this. That was a definite emotional game for the Nuggets, but we've seen this before. Is this deja vu all over again for the 3rd time? Are we going to see a team come back?
They better not get beat again and at least make it 2-2.
Yeah, if you can make it 2.
That'll just aggravate me.
But what people won't realize either is, you made a good point the other day. I'll give you the credit. You made a very good point.
Hey.
Think about it. This could be 2-1 Nuggets.
Yeah.
If AD doesn't hit that buzzer beater.
If he don't have a miracle or if anybody plays defense whatsoever on that play.
It could be 2-1. And think about it. The Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken, beat the Lakers in this game by more than the Lakers beat the Nuggets in game 1.
It was 12 in game 1.
So, okay, so we're about,
on.
Okay, so we're close.
But everybody had a heart attack about that first game.
But regardless.
And I was like, to me, what the Nuggets do is they play you, fill you
Figure
out,
Go watch the
I'm not
tape.
saying Mike Malone is out coaching them, which he may be. I'm saying is
I
that
think
they're
he
making
is.
adjustments.
But I think he is. I think Mike Malone is really out coaching. He outcoached Doc Rivers easily because Doc Rivers did not get his team up to play whenever they started to make it
Did you see
close
what
at
Broussard
all.
said about them last night?
Who?
Chris Broussard. About the
no,
reports
no.
he's getting from the Clippers.
What is he saying? That Doc Rivers might be out?
No. He's been told he said multiple role players on the team that they believe that they are better than Paul George and that they want George out of there. So who's that? Montrezl Harrell? Who's thinking?
Montrez ain't better than Paul George.
Well, somebody's saying it. He said multiple. So that's Beverly, Harrell. Who else is coming off their bench?
Beverly doesn't come off the bench. Lou Williams
Role
does.
players. Lou Williams. Broussard said last night that there was trouble in La La Land with that. Isn't it funny though that the Nuggets get to play both Morris twins from LA back to back?
And they got a Morris on their team.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, that confuses
That
me.
confuses me. But that honestly does surprise me because I would have to go down their bench, and because Paul George to me can play. I mean, he can play,
Obviously, they don't like him.
but it just depends.
He's not playoff P, honey.
No.
Hunter. I called him Honey. Hunter.
He's playoff PP.
Yeah, he's
He's
something.
bad. He's just
something.
bad.
He's
just bad.
So
Going back to the game last night, though, I think this series is going to cement Jamal Murray as a star.
Right, he is. I cannot, though, Hunter, call Mike Malone out coaching him while Bo sits on the bench.
Oh, my
But
God.
that's not where I was going with it. Even if I'm not going with him.
Paul Millsap.
Yes! What the hell? 31 points.
Do you know how many times Paul Millsap would get a pass down low on the block and not even have the speed to go up before somebody was already collapsed on him, so he had to pass out of the block?
What's bad? I'm happy he passed. Because what's bad when I see him catch the
He'll
ball,
go up and get
he has
beat.
the greenest of green lights I've ever seen. He knows he's not going to score 5 or 6 points, but by God, Hunter, every time he touches it, whoosh, he's firing that joker up.
Well, listen, if it's out on the
don't think
perimeter,
about
if it's out on the perimeter, that doesn't surprise me. But when he's in the block and he gets maybe an entry pass from maybe Jamal Murray or one of the other guys out there that get the ball inside to him, he catches it and is so slow trying to go up that the other guy is already just swarmed on him.
It's
And
awful.
he's just like this. He catches it and he's like, oh, man, no, I can't do it. I'm not athletic enough to go up with AD. Pass it.
Paul Millsap, Plumlee, and Torrey Craig combined for 51 minutes, 8 points.
I don't know what the hell Torrey Craig is doing.
I don't.
I don't know what he's doing. Plumlee, I know why they put him out there. It's the same reason why I said they could play Bobo. Is he's size. He's just one of those guys that you said you can throw out there, foul. I don't care. You're not going to score, foul. Throw hands.
Now Plumlee does the
And he's
classic
got a little bit-
backup center job.
And he's more
Is the foul
athletic
people.
than Jokic. Plumlee is a lot more athletic than Jokic.
He is.
So he can kind of body up a little bit more with the athletes.
Send him out there for Dwight, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's he's not out there for offense at all. That was a terrible defensive play by him. We talked about it
One of
Monday.
the things that I saw, I think Shannon pointed out this morning on his show with Skip. If you're Anthony Davis, how the hell do you only get 2 rebounds? You are 6'11".
Are you serious? That's all
You
I
are
had?
6'11", and you got 2 boards.
That's what Shaq used to do at crap.
6'11", and you got 2 boards. But what have I always
Hunter,
said about him?
Charles Barkley out-rebounded Shaq.
But what have I always
That's
said, though,
insane
about
to me.
Anthony Davis? What is his game? He wants to stand in the mid-range, or he wants to stand out on the 3-point line.
He's raised as a point guard. He's raised as a
He
guard.
was
That's
raised
what
as a guard. He hit that growth spurt going to Kentucky.
He wants to play that Kevin Garnett 4 role. Is what he wants.
And he can shoot. Yes,
but Garnett's
he can
Garnett's
hit it.
getting more than 2 rebounds.
He can get a deep 2, absolutely. But
let me ask you this.
they out rebounded them by like 20.
Let me ask you this. LeBron had 10 boards. Is LeBron doing that thing where he's just
Standing there and getting boards.
patting his stats and trying to get the board? Because a lot of guys.
Well, he got a triple-double
I
last night.
have accused LeBron of that so much in his career, of chasing the triple. He's chasing the stats. He figured out, Hunter, that he can't
Can't catch
he
him.
can't
Can't
go
catch him
6-0.
rings. Can't go 6-0.
So what he's doing is padding them stats, is assist and rebounds. Like why? LeBron had 11 assists. Who the hell is he passing it? if I watched a game, and people are like, LeBron is better because he gets more assists. If I watched a game and Michael had 11 assists and they lost.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot the effing ball. Like, under what circumstance? I just don't get it. Why people think a wide open Alex Caruso is a better shot than a contested LeBron or a contested Michael. I've been on plenty of basketball courts. I don't care how wide open the worst player is on the court.
You really want him to have the ball in his hands?
It. I don't. It's just, I know they're NBA players, whatever, but golly.
You could say that. You could say that. The thing
crazy.
about it, I know. Think about it. And LeBron, he had a triple double last night. What do you have? 30, 10, and 11.
Yes.
Shit.
Yep.
I mean, look.
And lost.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They lost. I mean, he did everything, and
he
they
got
lost.
exactly 10 rebounds. That's trying to get that. That's not.
They lost. Regardless, they lost. Now I'll say this: there is not a player on that team, maybe outside of LeBron, if he tries, that can guard Jamal Murray. Who's going to guard him on the perimeter when he can pull up from deep?
So what they're doing, and we talked about this Saturday. I
think they put Rondo on him at one point.
Yeah,
and it's like
they're playing the high pick and roll with Jokic, like Utah used to play with Malone, except Jokic can shoot threes, and he actually passed it instead of Karl Malone wouldn't pass too much. He got the ball. It's my job to score. That's why he's the all-time leading second. One's first or second all-time leading scorer.
I think he was second.
Is he second now?
I think he was second.
I always thought Barkley was all around better than him. It's just Malone was consistently, he's going to get you 25 and 10 or 20 and 10 or whatever. Millsap's god awful. Gary Harris
played. I think he had like 14 or something.
7 points in 32 minutes.
Is it? Who was the one I saw that had like 14?
Morris.
That's who it was.
So Gary Harris, he just returned from injury. He has been either hot or cold.
There's no between.
There's no between. He 32 minutes, 7 points yesterday. That's not.
But I'm dead serious. I believe Mike Malone is just out coaching these coaches. I think him and his coaching staff as a whole are out coaching these coaches. And think about who the coaching staff looks like for the Lakers right now. Is it really Vogel, or is it that assistant coach that sits right next to him? Is it Kidd? Or is it LeBron?
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think.
Which one of those guys tells LeBron he's not doing right?
Is it Kidd, maybe? Because he's got more respect for Kidd, but.
Is it anybody?
True. I mean, I
don't
know.
respect Michael Jordan, Hunter. Why is he going to respect Jason Kidd?
I don't know.
He came in the league and said, I'm going to be better than Jordan. I'm going to wear his number. Hunter, before LeBron wore that number, nobody wore that number. You try to wear that number in a high school team, coach wouldn't let anybody wear 23. It went so deep. I'm telling you, coaches on high school, college, nobody's wearing 23 because they don't want the player to think
they're Michael.
That's what they are. That's what they can do. So coaches would retire. I'm talking every basketball team I would be on growing up. People would say 23, and the coaches wouldn't let them. And he comes out and says, "I'm going to be 23." So it's one thing to respect your elders or honor them. He come in saying, "Not only am I going to be better than him, I'm taking that number away from him." So when you think 23, he wants his number.
Yeah.
He could have picked any number through 99, and he could have kept that number his whole career.
What's so crazy is LeBron eventually was going to go down if he doesn't go back to Cleveland, as he won championships with 6.
Yeah.
He won championships with 6
right.
in Miami.
On a franchise that has Michael Jordan's number retired.
Yeah.
LeBron will not get a statue. He would not get a number retired anywhere.
Who was it that I was listening to that said that about LeBron?
We did Saturday.
I know we did. Was it Saturday or Monday? But I feel like somebody else, I think somebody else said that too, because they were like, you think about it, who's going to lay claim to him?
Nobody.
When he goes into the Hall of Fame, does he go in a Cavs jersey? Does he go in a Heat jersey? He sure as hell ain't going in as a Laker.
Maybe. Let's win 3. If he wins this one, there's going to be so many free agents that are going to jump on that bandwagon.
I know who it was. I can't remember who the person was, but it was on Colin's show.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about, he's getting in rare air because he's coming up on winning it in a third different place. Right. And because a lot of people said there's no way he could do it in the West. So he would be coming up on rare air.
So in Utah, they'll have
he said,
Karl Malone posters and Stockton posters.
Right.
And
but
where's the LeBron pictures going to be?
Exactly. They took down that big old greatness thing that they used to have of him in Cleveland.
Funny you brought that up real quick. I heard a argument discussion about that the other day on I don't know what I clicked on. Maybe it was a Cleveland Brown something or other, but it was Cleveland. And they were discussing.
Pretty sure they have Baker doing something like that.
Well, they were discussing that particular billboard about how it's turned into a landmark, and they were trying to discuss who in Cleveland deserves to be on that billboard right now if you did it today. So it ended up being what they chose was Nick Chubb. This is Cleveland radio. They said ain't nobody on the basketball team. Said baseball maybe is it Lindor?
I would have said Lindor.
They said maybe him. They had something against him. Why not? Is he going to be a free agent or something?
They don't know if the problem is they don't think they'll be able to pay, or they're going to pay him to stay.
Maybe that's the problem, is that he might leave. So they had a reason not for Lindor.
And why it shouldn't be LeBron. And well, I'll be honest, Nick Chubb, why not?
But they said they're
maybe a top 5 running back in the league right now. I mean, he's only on his second year, so he's going to be there for another 2 or 3 years.
He's a beast.
He is a hoss. People don't realize because as obviously I watched him when he was at Georgia and saw him coming up through the recruiting. He was like a high school freak sprinter.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Well, the question with LeBron is, why would you want to be 23? Why wouldn't you want your own number? So when someone says 37 or 17, that we all think Jordan, or LeBron. But now you go use somebody else's number.
It's tough, though, because very rarely in sports in general do I just see a number and it automatically clicks with me and a player. It's rare because right now I can do it with maybe 3 people, technically 4, but you wouldn't.
All right, let me go. 12.
Tom Brady.
23.
Michael Jordan.
Now I can go NASCAR, but
NASCAR that's different.
That's their image.
That is their image.
That's their image. But anybody else?
If I said 18, I usually say Manning, Peyton. That's usually who I said.
If I said 2, who would you think?
Damn it! I just went to Johnny Manziel.
Did you really?
From Texas A&M.
I thought you were gonna say Jeter. What about 3? I get Iverson and Ruth from people on 3.
I'll be honest, I don't even think of it like a number 3. I don't.
But you're right as far as
numbers wise. Now, in the international world in soccer, the best player on the team usually wears 10. If you wear 10, you usually are the guy. So 10 for me has always been Messi. But one that is
where did that come from?
I don't really know where that came from.
Pele or
I don't know if Pele was 10. All I know is I think it came because on the international teams, they would always the best player would just end up wearing number 10. But the only one, because that one is strange, because 10 can be synonymous with anybody that you thought was the best player on that team and would wear 10. The one that's synonymous is Cristiano Ronaldo. Everywhere he has been has worn the number 7, so much that when he came out with his cleat line with Nike, they were called CR7s.
Okay.
So it's just one of those things where you have to be some sort of damn special for people just to see that number and just remember that's you. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be so special. I don't know, if there's something everywhere that says, why do the best players wear 10?
I'm going through it right now, actually.
Yeah.
It started as the position number 10.
Yeah. I mean, it's partially because of the game's all-time greats wore 10. I'm reading that. Pele and Maradona played in 10. So
you can just start with Pele and then go from there.
There you go.
See, well, that, Hunter, I guess what that is if baseball used to do that, okay? So whatever number...
10 for me is chipper.
What I'm saying is that whatever number... Well, the reason Babe Ruth is 3 and Gehrig or Jeter 2 or Jeter not so much, but Gehrig, what is Gehrig 4? That used to be the number in the batting order they were.
Okay.
So they actually wore the number to where they were in the batting order. So Babe Ruth was 3rd and he wore 3. And Gehrig was 4th. So that's where they actually started doing that in baseball. I'm guessing the way that's worded in soccer is that's what
that's
they
where
did
it was
then.
Originally when they were count. That's like your position. You played the 10 spot.
Right. And so that's where they. I'm guessing by reading the history of it is kind of. It's not what it exactly said, but I'm going to put those two and two together and say it kind of evolved in a way that baseball did with the. That's just the position number, and it turned out that way. Pretty neat. That's something I didn't know. I learned something every day. Let's cut a couple quick notes on this Lakers Nuggets. Millsap Hunter was plus 11 with 6 points.
Did he do anything else like blocks, assists?
No, well, hold on, wait a minute. The plus 11 is just
you're on the floor.
You're on the court.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant, who played 34 minutes, 3 more than Millsap, had 26 points.
He went off.
-8.
I don't.
Millsap and Grant played exact same number of minutes. Grant had 26 points, Millsap 8. So he was 20 points up on him in real points, right? Plus minus, Millsap beat him by 19. How does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
And then I'm glad I got you on here, Hunter.
It doesn't, but Grant played very good.
I got
He
you.
did. I watched him. He played very good.
Not according to this.
Forget the plus minus. Listen, I'm just telling you. Well, he went out
In
there.
that plus minus stat, it's kind of sort of.
I like it and I don't like it. It's one of those where you look at something and say, that's the advanced analytics, however they want to do it.
I understand what they mean by it and how they use it. Absolutely.
I'm just like, man.
But if I'm out there with 4 hot dogs, and my
And
plus minus,
I got to jump on.
my plus minus ain't gonna be too good.
I have to say, it's not going to be very good at all.
Yeah. I'm glad you said the word advanced analytics. I got one for you now.
Nah, basketball.
War. It's being used in other sports now.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I think I heard that before.
Are you ready to stab yourself in the face?
Yes. Because wait a minute. How can you use war in other sports? That means you're using other statistics, putting it together to make up this war. So it's not a real statistic.
No.
It's just multiple statistics put together to make your own statistic.
Right.
Fuck, man.
So this is football.
Sorry, Grandma.
This is football. Now, I actually kind of believe this, and a lot of people won't because they've been told or been programmed, let's say, for years. But according to PFF War,
Pro Football Focus,
cornerbacks and wide receivers are on average worth 4 times as much as interior defensive linemen.
That does not surprise me because it's a pass-first league.
Now, see, most people would say
get to the
draft
quarterback.
the defensive line.
Get to the quarterback.
Right. But to me, I'll always be the one.
You want Dion or
Right.
you want Aaron Donald?
Right.
Decide.
I'm taking Dion every time because
Well, let's keep it in today's. You want Jalen Ramsey or you want Aaron Donald? Play on the same team, but which one's better? Which one do you want more?
I can double team Aaron Donald.
It's tough, but you're right.
I can run away from Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Can I?
Yeah.
But a corner, if he can shut down your number one wide receiver, you saw what the Saints did. Let's pretend Dion was out there shutting Michael Thomas down. He didn't get any catches. Saints get 24. So that's what Dion used to do. That's a perfect example of the Saints right there without Michael Thomas. Is that he took their number one out and you had to beat him with the 2. And it's Hunter, if a defensive tackle falls down or gets blocked, can it still be a successful play? Or most of the time, can someone else make the tackle?
Hey, man, if the other DN gets in there, absolutely.
If you go in and play defensive tackle today and you don't get any tackles because your defense still compete and win,
probably.
If you go out there at cornerback and you don't defend any passes, is your team going to win? If your wide receiver catches everything thrown to him? No. Like, so cornerbacks and safeties, they get devalued, but they're the ones actually keeping all hell from breaking loose. I've played them both. At safety, at free safety, your only job is you're the last guy.
Yeah.
I can't miss this tackle. I've got to take the right angle. Like, that's one of the hardest things is knowing I've got to take the right angle where there's nobody behind me. Corner's easier playing because you've got one job, one side of the field, one thing to do. At free safety and strong safety, man, I got to go left and right with it. There's a lot of pressure on the safeties, but I saw that and I'm like, I'm gonna bring that in for Hunter and see what he thinks about the football war.
War in football. Speaking of Dion,
here's the best Here's the best headline of the week, Hunter.
Hmm.
Robert Kraft likely to get off in Florida massage parlor case.
Oh, I bet he's getting off.
That was the headline.
Damn, you can't make this shit
Give
up.
that guy a raise. That headline writer.
That's a good one.
Right?
That's a
Robert
good one.
Kraft likely to get off in Florida massage parlor case.
Speaking of Dion, did you see him get announced as Jackson State University's new head football coach?
Andre said, ain't no way in hell he's going to the games on the bus.
No.
He said Dion's going to get in that
Did you see how he showed up?
And tell him to meet him there.
Did you see how he showed up to his press conference?
I did. What did Prime do?
Prime rolled up in a nice Cadillac Escalade being escorted by a police officer.
For what? Why do football coaches have...
And the band was in there playing for him to show up whenever there was like maybe 3 people that were allowed to be there.
Escort? There was more people in the band than
yeah. Yeah.
I hope he does well.
I did.
Listen,
he did.
I've never understood her. Now, here's why I ain't going to say that. I have understood it because I believe the colleges are paying the players under the table. I've never understood why the HBCUs aren't way better at football. Right. Why don't they get the top end talent?
Right.
And if you think about it, well, maybe these guys are paying these guys to come play
instead of go playing here.
Right. Like maybe Clemson is paying their players at the local church, and the donations go backwards instead of forward. I don't know. But you know, what I do know is that there's always been a reason, and I've always thought that they could do pretty good and maybe even get in there and compete. And you know, Doug Williams went to Grambling, won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, here's the real question now.
McNair was at Alcorn State.
His son is a highly recruited college football player or a high school player. At prime son.
Dion.
Does he come play? School? Does he come play at Jackson State? Think about it. If he's good enough, it don't matter where he plays.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. See. We'll see. I think his son's a quarterback.
All right, Hunter. I figured it out, folks. Found the tweet.
Oh, God.
Hunter is under suspect. He likes him some Colin Cowherd.
I do like Colin a little bit.
Colin yesterday put out his 2020 quarterback tiers. And yesterday, he marked one off.
I did see this.
He marked Drew Brees off.
And guess who replaced him with?
Who?
Derek Carr.
Carson Wentz is on the list. Big Ben.
He did
Watson,
come out
Tom
and
Brady,
say.
Aaron Rodgers.
He did come out and say.
He lost one game, folks, with 300 yards passing. And we've got rid of him.
He did say Carson Wentz is on notice, though. He might get dropped off if he don't start playing better.
Oh, he's awful. What's he doing on there? Come on.
0-2.
Damn Drew Brees. Y'all got to stop this stuff. He's the most accurate passenger.
So the last question I have for you before we get off basketball.
Okay.
Do the Nuggets
We
tie
were
it?
off basketball.
I know we were off basketball.
I thought we had done.
I just want to ask, do you think the Nuggets take game 4?
They win the series, Hunter. Nuggets in 7.
Shit. Okay.
Nuggets in 7. I'll read it to you one more time. I got to find my disciples. Here we go.
Jesus.
We got Peter. I'm gonna talk to America right here. We got Peter. We got John. Bartholomew. Thomas. 2 Jameses. Andrew, Philip, Thaddeus, Simon, Matthew, and even Judas himself can help King James in this series, Hunter. It's Nuggets in 7, baby. Woo, woo, free bowl. They should have won the second game. They dominated in game 3.
They should have.
I feel good about them.
Listen, I said this game.
They don't. Look, I ain't gonna say they can't go down 3-1 because obviously they can.
Well, they can, but if I was them, I would not.
They don't want to.
No.
3-2's fine. That ain't gonna worry them.
No, because I said before the series started, I said after what I've seen these past 2 series against Utah and the Clippers, they do not care if they go to a game 7. So would it surprise me if this goes to a game 7? Absolutely not.
I'm glad y'all are starting to.
Absolutely not.
Lean back a little bit on me.
Kevin, I had to look. I had to use my eyes.
Nuggets right now? I'd
be excited. I would be excited. But I would tell him this: you're about to get a really pissed off LeBron James the next few games.
I ain't worried about him. He's not the one you got to worry about. It's the third one. It's the third one, Hunter. Look they had. So the Nuggets. Let me pull that back up. When was that game? Last night.
Mm-hmm.
What days last night? How did you skip a whole week there, Chief? Last night was Tuesday. So let me pull up this box one more time. So no, I turned it on at halftime.
Right.
We had ball games last night, so I didn't get a chance to get in. So
That's when I turned it on at halftime too.
I didn't get there till about then. And when I
They were up by I think 10 at half.
And I looked at the stats. I'm like, what are they doing? At halftime, Michael Porter Jr. was 4 for 4 from the field and 1 for 1 from 3 with 8 points. You know what he ended up with?
8 points.
9 points.
I was say, it was like 8 or 9.
I'm like, well, Porter showed up tonight.
No, he didn't.
And I'm like, see, guys, that's their third guy. And then he disappeared. In the second half, Morris and Grant picked it up. And
Grant really picked
Grant
it
did
up.
with 26. If they get a third guy
To play
that
consistent.
gets 20, I don't care who it is. Name one. Just one of them.
Yeah.
If one of you can get 20, y'all going to beat the Lakers. You're going to beat them. Because Jokic and Murray and Davis and LeBron are going to cancel each other out. And let's see. Jokic and Murray, 50 last night. Davis and LeBron, probably somewhere in that range.
They were close. They
might
were
have
like
got 60,
56.
57. So they got beat by those two and still won the game. But
But
handedly.
I will say this too. They have to continue to find a way to get Anthony Davis to not get rebounds. If he goes out there and drops another 2 or 3 rebound game, then absolutely not. The Nuggets will beat them.
Rondo had 2 boards. Pope had 3.
Think about
Danny Green 4.
Who out rebounded Anthony Davis on his own team.
Oh, listen to this. I'm going by positions. You ready?
Yeah.
McGee and Dwight Howard, the starting centers, both had 1 rebound.
They did get out rebounded.
Anthony Davis had 2. That's 4. The other power forwards are Marcus Morris or Markieff, whichever one it is, and Kuzma. They had 1 combined.
So for power forward centers, they had 5 boards.
Between 5 guys.
Those guys are bad.
5 7-foot adult males or 6, 8, 9 adult males
Right.
got a grand total
Of 5 boards.
Now again, go back to my earlier thought.
And LeBron
Is LeBron
got
stealing?
10.
Is LeBron stealing rebounds to pad his stats?
I don't
Because
know.
if they're both standing, think about it. It happens. Have you seen the guys pass the 3-point shots around?
Yeah.
Trying not to mess up the 3-point
percentage.
And I've seen Rodman used to do it, and then there was somebody else in the playoffs that got a rebound, and the star grabbed it too, and the star let go like this so he could have his rebound, and then he just handed him the ball. There was one of the Rodman did that in one of those in the Last Dance. I remember seeing he grabbed it, and Jordan had his hand on it, and Rodman just kind of turned his head, and Jordan went, "Okay." He just kind of nodded and shook his head, and then as quick as that happened, Dennis did.
Yeah.
And handed him
Take the ball.
There's your.
I get it. I give
I
to you.
got the rebound.
I get bored. I hand the ball to you.
That's what he
I
did.
grab ball. I hand the ball. I grab ball. I hand the ball.
All right, so my original pick was Nuggets, Raptors. It didn't work out, so my pick now was after this started was Nuggets and Heat. I'm feeling decent about it, I guess.
I mean, I had Clippers, Celtics. Clippers are
Is
out,
everybody just on
so-
the I don't want, as long as LeBron don't win it, we'll be halfway
That's
okay
exactly
with
right.
it?
I don't care if LeBron wins a basketball series. I'll tell you this, though. If LeBron is in the finals, I might not watch every game. I'm just not interested.
I won't watch unless I know they're going to get beat or have a chance to
Like,
get beat.
that's what I'm saying is if it's going to be competitive, I mean, I might watch it. But if they're going to come in there and just curb stomp, the Heat, maybe curb stomp the Celtics, I don't think they will, but it'll just be one of those things where it's like, well, whatever. It doesn't change my opinion, so whatever. Yeah, I'm watching it right now when Prime rolled up in that motorcade in a big old Escalade.
Did he?
Yeah, that's so funny. Just show up Jackson State. Hey, good for him, though. He's been very successful as a high school football coach. Speaking of football, though, before we speak on, I don't know, you got any baseball news other than that? I mean, a few teams clinched. Braves, 20th time winning the divisions, most in the MLB.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
The Yankees have 27
I don't
championships.
know. Maybe they get in there as a wild card and don't always clinch.
Or y'all the biggest chokers in sports history?
Possibly.
I just want to know. It's been 25 years since you won one.
And possibly. We've won it 20 times, though.
Was that in baseball or all sports?
Baseball. This is MLB. That's the most in Major
There's
League
got to be an
Baseball.
asterisk to this. I've got to figure this one out. I saw that and I was like, that ain't right.
We've got to figure this out.
This has got to be since like they split or something like that.
So, but other than that, few teams are actually starting to get their playoff spots in, clinch divisions. So it's like, well, do we really try still or not?
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I guess we do need to discuss that for the last few minutes of the show. Or did you have another football thing? Well, we can finish.
The only
with baseball.
football thing I had was the SEC commissioners come out and said, why would the college football playoff selection committee is going to face a challenge if they are trying to get a college football playoff in, due to, the Big Ten is only playing 8 games. The SEC is playing 10 games. The ACC is playing 11 games. The Big 12, I think, is playing 10 games. So it's like, what are you going to do? Not everybody draws the line. It's just, he said it's weird. So that was the only thing for football-wise was the SEC commissioners come out and said the playoff football selection committee is going to face a problem this year. And you know what? I agree with them. I agreed with it whenever I saw that the Big Ten said they were going to start back up and they were only going to play 8 games. I said, so how are you going to choose only an 8-win team if they do go 8-0 in Ohio State over maybe a 9-1 Georgia or Florida out of the SEC? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you do that? They won. You play the games that you have. They sure as hell don't have nearly the amount of talent up in the Big Ten as they do in the SEC. Or I shouldn't say talent, but the strength of schedule that the SEC has. They're playing absolute juggernaut schedules right now. Georgia has 5 out of 6 weeks in a row where they play a ranked opponent. So this is just going to be one of the, and say Georgia was to go 9-1, maybe 8-2, and you were to tell me that an 8-0 Ohio State team would be better, well, they only played 8 games. Georgia played 10. Georgia played 2 more ranked opponents. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a slew of a mess this year. That's why to me, I'm like,
I
look,
hate that sport.
that's why. But that's why to me though, I can sit here and say this would be the one year to me. I'm like, look. That's why I thought a lot of kids were going to start sitting out. You know what? Just conference champions. Just take conference champions. No, the schools are going to want bowl games because that's how they're going to get money. Mm-hmm. But other than that, college football playoff, I don't care. It's going to be so wonky this year. Just keep them as conference champions, and I'll be fine with it. I'll be fine with it. So did you figure it out, or are we still correct?
You would think there would be a Google... a list.
I want to know where. I want to know where they cut. Well, if you can't find it,
no. What more than likely somebody just went through and counted, as opposed to it actually being an article. I found one from 2011, Hunter.
Uh-huh.
It had you guys at 16 and the Yankees at 18, and that was in 2011. Now, what they counted according to this one, Hunter, they weren't count. That nothing is counted before 1969.
Right.
So, that's how.
Well, whatever. Hey, 20 most in the MLB. Let's get it. 20 division titles. World Series bound. Let's do it.
Let me read this thing. So, Uncle Mike's. Now, this is in 2011 is when he wrote this.
Hey, World Series bound. That's all that matters.
This will be 3 separate lists from the post-69 era onward, overall for each team's current city and overall for cities which the team has played. Here's a list that counts first place winners. All right, here's the ones before. Here we go. Here's the ones before 1969. That's what that was, Hunter.
Okay.
Yankees won 47. That sounds more like it, don't it?
Yeah, okay. It sounds more like it.
But
we only count after 69.
Y'all are in 6th.
Well, it's top 10. Almost top 5. I can't be mad about that. Who's top 10?
Who's second, Hunter?
Probably the Dodgers.
No.
Or the Red Sox. It's the Cardinals.
Yeah, the team with the most World Series in baseball besides the Yankees.
I was about to say, wait a minute now. It's the Yankees?
Yeah. You ask anybody on the street that. Who's got the most World Series? Yankees. Who's second? Nobody has a clue. It's the St. Louis effing Cardinals. First one was in 1885. The last one, 2009, Hunter. We haven't won a division in 11 years. Oh, this was 2011. Sorry, folks. These are 9 years old.
I was about to say.
I was like, that don't make no sense.
Technically, that's only 2 years old.
This is a 9-year-old thing.
From 2009, that would have only been like 2
Well, it's got
years.
you guys at 16, so, and it started counting in 69 for you. So that was your first one in 69. So y'all were the expansion team. This does not count their Boston and Milwaukee pennants. So let's find.
Well,
You
add those then.
You want to find some Boston Braves? All right, here we go.
Adam.
Added together your second
Okay, oh, there we go.
with 32.
Top 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those 32 were in the 1800s. So, Hunter,
Hey,
what's 32 minus 12?
top 5.
What's 32 minus 12?
It's 20.
Okay. And you got 20 since 1969. What happened from 1900 to 1969?
We just stopped. We just stopped.
Y'all went 69 years.
We stopped. We stopped existing. We stopped
I might have
existing.
counted that wrong. Let me make sure I got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in 1800s. Cardinals stayed in. They were fifth in that one. They were second. And they backed up to fifth one once they counted everybody's moving around, acting like fools. So, and Yankees won on the actual team name. Yankees won, Braves 2, Dodgers 3, Giants 4, Cardinals 5, A's 6. A's are the third highest most World Series, I think, with the Red Sox maybe. Cubs, Pirates, Red Sox, and Reds. So there you go on that.
Hey, we clinched it. Division this year. It was easy. What can I say? The other teams were just
You didn't
bad.
play anybody in the West or East.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. All that matters is in the division how we did. So, I mean, we played good against all of our division opponents. We took care of business when it was needed. So, guess what? Playoff bound we are.
We talked MVP the other day, and I did see it. I swear people watch our stuff and then put it on ESPN. And then the very next day or the next few days,
They probably
articles,
do.
And they were talking about the MVPs. I know it's MVP time, and we're being facetious, I guess, a little bit. But
No, they do watch us. Start giving us some damn credit. Thank you.
The Jordan thing, this, and but they did have, it was Freeman and I think Soto
One,
in the National League. Maybe?
Soto
maybe
for the Nationals? Dude,
it was two players. It was Freeman and somebody else.
I don't think Soto should even be close. If anything, I would say it's Tatis.
It wasn't him. I know it wasn't that name.
Soto is. The Nationals aren't even good this year.
This is of course based on all the other stuff, the fancy stuff. In the American League, it was they said those guys are going to split in Chicago, and whoever the other one will get it. Is it Abreu, the other one that we talked about?
The Abreu and whatever the other guy is out of the White Sox.
It said the White Sox are going to split their votes, and the other guy's going to win it. Whoever the other guy.
So the
was.
other guy's probably going to be Mike Trout then.
No, it wasn't Trout. They said Trout's not yet.
Thank God.
I know. There'll be some, I guarantee there'll be idiots vote for him. I guarantee it.
Oh, he'll get votes. And guess what? When he doesn't win it, analytical war lovers on Twitter are going to go nuts. And I can see every single one of their Twitter pictures now. It's like a weird picture with them wearing sunglasses in their trucks.
Well, he's not in the top 50 in WAR this year, so.
No, he's played bad. Like, his batting average is not great. He's not even the most consistent hitter on his team. A guy, I think, 10 to 15 years older than him is doing that. And Pujols. I think, he might have him on home runs, but even that I don't think he does.
He's doing better than Albert. Albert is just...
Albert's puttering along.
He can't move. It's his feet, man.
He's puttering along. He's just trying to... I don't know. I get so sick and tired. I think that's what it is.
Trout's 288.
He's
36th in batting average.
I'll say this. Baseball might start to see a fatigue too. Because LeBron came out the other day and what he said, he said, I was pissed off that I only got like 16 first place votes in the MVP. And then he came out and said, I'm glad he said, I'm not saying the other guy didn't deserve it. He said, I'm just saying 16, only out of like the 100 and something that voted, you only got me 16.
And that
so,
dude thinks so much of himself.
Yeah, I know.
It is incredible.
But somebody made
good.
a good point. They said, it's kind of LeBron fatigue. Like, you could technically kind of vote for him a little bit every year if you really wanted to. But after a while, it's like, But I feel like that could be almost a thing now with baseball. Unless the fatigue over Mike Trout love is not there.
The problem is the war, and that's all it is.
He's just not there this year?
No.
War-wise?
No, but I'm just saying is that we've somehow turned everything on that stat. That is the only stat that matters, and that's the only thing. And it's not a good stat. It's not fair. It's not right. I don't like it at all.
The only thing that I enjoyed that you said right there a little while ago was that you said that Freddie Freeman is a part of an MVP race.
They had him in there,
and he very well should be. When you lead a whole division in 3 or 4 statistical categories, not just your little WAR, okay, then you should absolutely be in consideration. If you had a guy in the NBA who led in points, assists, and rebounds, would he not be the front, like either in the East or the West? Would he not be the front runner for MVP? Possibly. Or would he at least be in MVP discussions depending on how his team's going? Why do you think Russell Westbrook got his MVP with the Oklahoma City Thunder? He was Mr. Triple-Double. Putting all the numbers together.
LeBron was the only player in the league. I mean, he led the league in assists. Only player in the league with 10 assists. Hunter, is the three-point shooting causing a lower assist rate then with all these people?
Well, they just get the ball and come down and shoot their shot.
Right. You used to feed it into the post, get an assist, hit a cutter, get an assist.
Right.
Your open jumper, if I hit you wide open.
Everybody wants to come down and play isolation ball and just create their own shot. So James Harden.
If I feed Howard in the post.
James Harden still gets a lot of assists.
There's a 50-50 chance I get an assist. If I pass it to a three-point shooter, there's only a 35% chance that I get an assist. So that's if they're open and shooting, all that. So that's something weird to see the assist only one person with 10.
Yeah, that is weird. You think about like the Steve Nashes and the Jason Kidds, the Mike Bibbies, all those guys, all those point guards, even Rondo when they were winning championships with Boston, man. He'd come down here he'd average maybe 11, 12 assists on a season. That was his game. That was his bread and butter. Defense and assists. He could score on the inside. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, unless you're Steve Nash and you were just a complete package. But
so LeBron was 12th in scoring. Giannis had 4 more points a game, 6 more rebounds, and 5 less assists.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, we're back to the...
Is it just because he averaged double-digit assists? I think, if I'm not mistaken, who had the best record in the whole league? I'm pretty sure it was the Bucks.
It was.
So, I mean, that's just, but that's just one of those things I was getting at where
Zach
it's like...
LaVine outscored LeBron this year.
Zach LaVine's got a new coach, too.
Well, what about...
We forgot to talk about that.
Well, what about Doncic?
What about Luka?
Well, let's say you want to look at LeBron's stats. Well, Luka outscored LeBron.
Pretty sure out-rebounded him.
Rebounds, LeBron 7.8, Luka 9.4.
Mm-hmm.
And then assists, of course, LeBron had 10 and Luka 8.8.
Luka had a great year.
So LeBron should be happy he's not third in MVP voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many MVP votes did Luka get?
I don't even know if he got any.
Does LeBron have more help on his team than Luka does?
Technically with AD, yeah. Luka's a one-man show right now in Dallas.
And Avery Bradley when he's there.
But Kristaps is hurt, so I can't count that.
Luka outscored him, had more rebounds, and had 1 less assist than him per game. So, hey, LeBron.
All I got to tell people is after you said that is, watch out. Luka's coming.
That boy's good.
That boy good.
Mama, that's bad, man, however they say that. All right, Hunter.
Mama, there goes that man.
Did we miss anything?
No, I only thing probably forgot to mention, but it was just brief. It's for the NBA. I mean, oh God, what's his name? Head coach that was at Oklahoma City, Billy Donovan decided not to go back to the Thunders because little did they all know he was going to sign to be the new head coach with the Bulls. So, and you know what? I saw what he did with that cast in Oklahoma City. Now he's got the number 4 pick going into this year's draft, and he's got Zach LaVine and Kobe White. I think he can if he hits that pick, Why not?
LeBron finished tied 7th in PER
Player efficiency.
with none other than Hassan Whitesides. I'm just when LeBron wants to talk about MVP, let's put the numbers in perspective. You got the same PER as Hassan Whiteside, and you were 7th behind the other two guys we just mentioned,
Right.
Luka and Giannis. All right, Hunter, is there anything else that you want to get to or talk about before we end the show and come back Saturday?
No, I think that was it.
I want to make sure. I want to look at my news and toys. I made fun of. I wanted to talk about Robbie Anderson today, so I could laugh at that.
And you did. What's that bear doing?
That is awesome.
Can we get that put on a T-shirt, Panthers? Can you please say what's that bear doing?
Speaking of bears, Gail Sayre passed away at 77.
Yes,
one of the
I did see that.
Football players of all time. So, condolences to his family and all that. All right, Hunter. Let's see. Friday, if anybody's paying attention, we have a golf tournament Friday. Tune in. Hunter will be live. I'll be playing. And then Saturday, we have our Saturday Sports Talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks for tuning in today to Hunter and myself's live broadcast of Shock Joxx. We'll see you guys Wednesday today is Wednesday afternoon. I get my days. Once we started playing T-ball these last 2 weeks, I have no idea what day it is. I just know tomorrow I go baseball. Tomorrow I do this.
Baseball, I do this.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in to Shock Joxx, KDCBroadcasting.com.
I only do things incredible can, 'cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, 'cause I am.